Good morning. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to take a shot at it. What's another adage? Adage? Cabbage? I'm not awake. I'm sorry. I haven't had any coffee this morning. I'm generally trying not to drink coffee. I'm trying to wean myself off of coffee and drink healthier things in the morning, like tea, just plain water, that sort of thing. But it is a challenge. So I'm going to try to muddle through this as best I can with no caffeine in my system. So yeah, if those of you don't know, I self-identify as homeless. Um, Sometimes I look the role. Sometimes people like they know it. Oftentimes you wouldn't if I didn't pretty much self-identify that way. I lost my housing in 2013 after like a big layoff in my district, my school district. And yeah, I just slipped through the cracks. I slept in my car some. I slept at our city's warming center. I tried the shelter, just wasn't a fit for me. And so, you know, I've just been out kind of winging it this whole time. And um, in my estimation, I think that's the best way for you to just go out independently and see what you can do. It's not easy. It's not easy. Actually, it's very tough, but it can be done. It can be done. And that's what I've done. I'm going to give you a little glimpse of what I'm talking about. As I said, I've self identified as homeless. That means, I'm involved in politics. You know, I try to, God, try to keep in touch with, the media, um, all those sorts of things. And what I found out is that there's not a lot of opportunity to share my story or to share my experiences because the media just sort of, I don't know, ignoring. It's just like they just don't report. They just don't report on the things that happen in the homeless community. Um, Now, that's not to say they don't talk about people living in tents, shelters, um, food handouts, that sort of thing. I'm not talking about those generic everyday things. I'm talking about the complexities. People's, you know, people who are homeless. You wouldn't even know if I didn't self-identify. You really wouldn't. Today I've got on my bandana, which I often wore when I was on the streets. Um, but who doesn't wear a bandana? You know, and some days I don't. You know, some days I'm able to, get my eyebrows done, my lips waxed, and put on decent clothes and put on, typical clothes that I've washed and showered and you wouldn't know. But the case is that I have self-identified as being homeless, and I've connected with a lot of people. Now, the reason I was able to do that, and I did panhandle at one point. Um, those early days, it's just like a whirlwind. You just do what you can do to try to hold on. And I did that for a bit, and didn't really work out for me like I thought it would. I was sleeping in a car and I was trying to get gas in my car to get me through the night because it was winter. Well, to make a long story short, before long I came up on this thing called the street paper. And that's one reason why a lot of people know me as being homeless because I'm out there selling the street paper every day. It's called the homeless paper. It started in 1989 in New York, um, and it kind of spread around the world. Not every city has one. The city in or that I live in has one. So the whole idea is that you get a micro loan. Um, I don't even know if it's a loan. You're given 10 free papers, and you take those out and you sell those for like $1, which gives you some income to start purchasing papers that you're going to sell, and that's how you sort of kickstart your business. That's what I did about 7 years ago. Um, Knew nothing about sales, but eventually learned to sell it. I write for it, and it's just become really sort of it became a lifesaver for me. If I didn't know how to sell that paper, I don't know where I would have been. God, that is just the way it goes. But anyway, I learned to sell the paper and was able to connect with a lot of people through that. Um, Fast forward, I eventually built a website where I sell the paper online. Um, I just tried to start an organization to help youth in homelessness. It's just like it's become my passion now. So I also, see, I haven't had my coffee. But anyway, I put together like an email list. And my intent for the email list was to surround myself with people who were like minded. I just picked them as customers came along. And I just said, would you like to be on my email list? Because I'm thinking everybody wants to support the homeless crisis. I'm just thinking everybody was. I was naive, but I thought that was the case. So I put all these people on my email list. And over the years, things have happened. I locked my keys out of my car once and I was desperate. And I'm like, this is my go to list. And so I immediately went to my list, and um, some people came through and pulled me out of that situation. Um, what else? Well, there have been various little scenarios, but I'm not going to write them in this situation. I'm going to tell you why. Even though I have a website, and I'll probably try to sell papers online because that's I have to use that website now. But the whole idea that you would have to ask somebody when you're in a crisis, two people reached out to me. Two people sent me a donation. Um, Actually, I'm not asking for donations. I'm trying to publish a book, and I've asked people over and over to help sponsor days so I can get my book published. This would be an ideal time to work on that. And I've got a website. You can sponsor a day, da da da. But there's just been silence. And it's just an eerie silence. I mean, this is coronavirus. I've got a website. You can reach me. If you can't reach anyone else that's homeless, you can reach me. So that kind of lets me know how quickly people are able to put us out of their mind. And I get that because I wasn't always homeless, and I would always had this vague sense of how do you help people, what's going on. But with me, you know where I am. These people know where I am. I It would be different if they had to like, well, where's Lit? Can we kind of, you know, no, people know where I am. I'm on the website, and that's what people are really going to help people these days online. And the fact that it's been eerie silence is just, it, it bothers me, but it also sort of supports my idea or um, underscores the reason that I, changed my political affiliation during the Trump election. So I don't know if I want to call it, you know, you don't know a person till you live with them, and that's how it's been with me with liberals. I always thought I supported the liberal agenda, um, but this just really changes things, and the fact that I'm going through this alone, it's just really scary. It's really scary. They know I sell a street paper. They know they should. People buy it. That's my livelihood. A lot of people are out of work. Independent contractors, a lot of people. And that's what I do downtown. I go every day. And for a few hours, I sell the paper. I let people know that I've written articles that are timely, up to date. Maybe it's because I wrote an article that I voted for Trump in the paper. So maybe, you know, like I said before, it shouldn't matter your political affiliation when it comes to survival. Oh, didn't mean to make this video this long, but um, it's a little scary. I think they're going to, um, there's a moratorium on evictions, so I think I'll be okay. Um, but, you know, once again, when you become homeless, nobody reaches out to you. Nobody cares. It's like, even in the coronavirus days, it's an isolated, uh, and it's trying to remain invisible. It's trying to remain invisible. Um, so yeah, I'm just sitting here, um, disappointed. If people didn't know where I was, then it wouldn't be disappointed. But I wouldn't be disappointed. But people know how to get in touch with me. They haven't reached out. So it is what it is. Um, so um, yeah, this is my show, Lit. Let's talk. Let's talk. That's what it is. Let's talk. Got through the whole thing without coffee, as I've been doing for the past several mornings. And this is also brought to you from As the Third World in North America Turns. If you want to hear more of what I have to say, please subscribe. Thank you. Stay safe.